Okay, no pressing. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. Right? The bullets on the calendar, we can prove that. When Winterbank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm, so that's when he shot you. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. Shut himself in the storeroom. Peephole. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. Okay, these two statements, I'm not sure. I saw the blood spatter over that wretched girl. Fuck, I can't prove when those stains were made. Best not to touch that one. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. Okay, 3 of them seem suspicious. Alright, let's discuss evidence. Right. Let's go backwards, shall we? I'm not sure if we need to bring this up for this particular cross-examination. This is the one that shot Sholmes, right? Okay. I think, yeah, we've established this. I'm not sure if it'll help us any further. Stereoscopic truth. I don't think this is a murder weapon. Okay. Whatever. Alright. Autopsy. Okay. Clearly they want us to present the cat flap, and this people seems related. Because I don't know how to talk about this. But if you have a look, I think I pointed this out earlier, but at 1:30 AM, it's there. Seriously? As I was trying to say before I got so rudely interrupted by a crash. Yeah, so 1:30, which is after the incident. You see that, right? We saw it, right? When we got to the crime scene, we saw it. But if you have a look at before Winterbank got offed, there's nothing. Okay, so clearly that's important, but I don't know which statement. I'm guessing the evidence is like we're showing that that peephole wasn't there before, and it was produced by the cat flapper mat thingy. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know which statement it would be most appropriate to use it on. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I need to acknowledge for this particular cross-examination, so which one should it be? Pursued the man, but he shot himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door. Timing is important here. Shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I don't think we can really... I think we need to directly talk about the people because I think it's a more obvious connection. I think that's what game's trying to tell me here. Toss the gun out of the people. Well, first of all, this doesn't make sense because, like, when we found her, she had a gun. Like, I mean, it's not the killing... It's not the murder weapon, I don't think. Wait, have we established what was actually the murder weapon at this point? Like... Ah! Picked it up and... Okay, so 2 of them are suspicious. But which one is it? He shot himself in the store. I could see him through the peephole. I think maybe we should get that one because this one is... like, after the incident, like, there could have been any opportunity, but in terms of, like, running to the storeroom, I don't know how this is definitive, to be honest, but I think that's what game's trying to tell me here. If I get it wrong, like, I saved, so it's, yeah, well, like, the game crashed before, right, and, I saved, so, essentially cheating here, but, alright, so, pursued the man, he shot himself the door, through the people, but the people wasn't there when the incident happened, it happened way after, like, we got to the scene. What on earth is that eccentric contraption, Council? Oh, it's my cat Flapperman, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out of the room. It can cut through any door you can think of and make a new little door in the middle of it. That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please without their owners having to open them. I'm sure we can work that out for ourselves! But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to this case! Oh, really? Of course it doesn't! To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's store. You literally said there was people. Did you just slip up? What? Oh, wait, he knows there's a people. Oh, right, sorry. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter at hand. Perhaps it would help if I describe its function another way then. Okay. So he knows there's a people. But like we know there's a cat flap. And that's why I was confused. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all. Oh, I beg your pardon. A peephole, you say? 2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Winterbank had taken place. Yeah, I think multiple people can corroborate, or at least Sholmes and I can. That's right, according to the paperwork at the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Mr. Sholmes. Okay, yes, the 3 of us were together. It has recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time. Your assistant did what? There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom. This is ludicrous! What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake? Why do you know of it? How could you? What? Counsel, kindly say what you mean. Alright, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through. No!
Objection!
This is a farce! Are you really suggesting that the peephole in the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device. Your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions. This is a most serious act of vandalism, for which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Grader's testimony is riddled with holes. riddled with... Explain! The majority of Mr. Grainer's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon which he witnessed through the people in the storeroom door. Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back! However, if at the time of the incident, that people did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies. Order! Is there any credence to this revelation? None whatsoever, as my learned friends must surely realize. Exactly! This is some cheap trick designed to discredit me! I'm afraid not, sir. Of course it is! Do you seriously expect people to believe that plaything can come through a solid wooden door? Oh yes, I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors. That's absurd! I don't believe it for a second! Haha, I had a feeling you'd say that. What? Maggie, Chloe, time for dinner! Oh, that's right, Eli, Oh. Wait, what? When did you... Well... Young lady, this is the Old Bailey! One does not make cat flaps in the oak paneling at the Old Bailey! Oh, not done yet, don't worry. This doesn't mean that the peephole in the storeroom door at Winterbanks was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was! Why do you think we're pursuing this line of logic? It's easy. What? The cat flaps my cat flapper man creates are of a fixed size. The dimensions of the peephole at Winterbanks are an exact match. Oh, Silky's lost for words. Excellent work, Iris. Thank you very much. And now it's my learned student friend's turn to be lost for words, I feel. What? I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. Yeah, well... Yes, that's true. Then you may have some difficulty in establishing all the facts. Would you really believe her if she just said it? You need something more tangible, I feel. For the sake of argument, let us assume the peephole has dimensions that are a perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the peephole cut? The prosecution demands proof of your answer. Hold on. What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Lord Von Zieks? It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the peephole was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator has returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There is no proof. Oh! And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the peephole was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation. Hold on, hold your horses. Indeed, that is so, Lord Von Zieks. Well, counsel, it's not over yet. Don't give up now, Bruno. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through. I don't know if I could do this, but I do know one thing. Susato-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. Very well. The counsel for the defense will present evidence to support the claim made. Proof that the peephole to the door of Winterbank's storeroom was created after the event and not before.
Take that!
What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again. Well, it's a lot more credible than the blood thing, don't you think? My judicial assistant, Mrs. Sato Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof. And the necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel. Oh. This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises. Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker. But more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background. Let me see the print again. I don't believe it! This is really quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of other people. Mr. Graydon, you couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done, because at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door. In other words, your testimony is a catalogue of lies. I'm satisfied the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious. That's not the only thing we now know beyond any reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene. But more importantly, good Lord, there's more Lord Von Zieks. The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury, but that is not proof that this man is the victim's killer. Yes, that's right. What? I was there at the scene, it's true. And I was shot in the arm, it's true. But that's all. Yes. In fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here. Oh, please, no! I don't believe this. They're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he's the culprit. Still, he can't worm his way out of it now. You know what they say. There's no point locking the cat's door after the cat has bolted. Isn't that right, Bruno? As Hurley always says, one lie begets another. Oh, wait, that might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories. Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense. Make no sense? What do you mean by such a remark? What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there is a fundamental inconsistency in your statements. What?
Objection.
Yeah, why the heck do you know there was a people? When did you come back? This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency. Iris was right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had no knowledge of something he shouldn't have known about. Namely, well, this. Wait, if it wasn't there at the time, he couldn't have seen what was transpiring. Wait, should we go for this? Well, first of all, yeah, I don't think he should have known about this in the first place. But like, to be fair, we've been talking about it this entire time in the court, so I guess he must have adapted that fact. But this. The blood stains that were present on Miss Lestrade's coat. That's right. The victim's blood splattered all over her when she shot him. But how could you have possibly known that? Obviously, because I saw her do it through The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that's so revealing. You're not making any sense. Then let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door? Wait, I thought we were talking about it. Obviously, Cat got your tongue, witness? The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once I returned the shop, having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Winterbanks constantly, carrying out their investigation. Wait, was it? Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Oh, well, yes, of course. Place is chock full of porn articles and my lads had to thoroughly examine them all. So I gave order to have officers working around the clock and shift so we can get through it all. And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Supposedly not. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the peephole in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable. And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the peephole in the door, but it wasn't there. That's what we're saying. How on earth is that possible? Could I have a word, please, Lord Von Zieks? Speak, Inspector. It's just, I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report. There's really nothing more I can add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you... Permission denied. Oh! It's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes. Of course, sir. Mr. Graydon. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that people. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Oh, an inside job. Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications. Yes. But the defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Graydon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And in fact, considering a particular clue we have, it's really only one person it could be. I'm not sure if we're thinking about the same thing though, so let's see. Who's the person in question, counsel? Who gave this witness details of the... I'm not sure if he's talking about evidence, but I was thinking that opportunity when these two were talking to each other.
Take that!
The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson. Me! You'd better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend. Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learnt of it only during the course of the trial today. Or at least I did. Somebody else. I mean, juror number 5 knew, right? Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our 1 hour-long recess. While the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communication station. And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have no idea. No inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court. Are you suggesting that until such a time as he was summoned? Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position. Oh, it was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position. That he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder. You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information, so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin. Gregson, what the heck, mate? Exactly. The only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson. This is a blooming outrage! Why would I be giving away details of the investigations to this fella? Oh, the clue's incentive! I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Have you forgotten that? There was an opportunity! Quite true, I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery. Which means... the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after the proceedings resumed following the recess. No. Since then, they've been in full view. Yes, exactly. Where such illicit discussions couldn't... What do you mean, couldn't? No, we saw it. I just remembered something, Bruno. Is it the same thing as I'm thinking, Iris? There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying. Oh. Now you mention it. when the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilded's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it! It was during their testimony! Yes! I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Graydon and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then. You little diary! You're making all this up! I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud! Why would I do something like that? Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this bloke? Admittedly, you wouldn't have any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense. What deal, counsel? I wonder if perhaps, in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector. Sure, I need not remind the inspector that, if found to be true, striking a deal with any kind of a witness would be considered a gross case of malfeasance? Well, it's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's specialty. I don't do that! But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of his diabolical claim. Evidence? Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see proof of this alleged deal. If Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, then logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it. Bruno, do you think it could be? Yes. It's the missing link that will join all the dots together in this puzzle. I must press you for an answer now, counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the witness? Yeah, he wanted the disc so badly, didn't he?
Take that!
I'm hanging on for dear life, Inspector Gregson! Besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case? What are you getting at now, Sunshine? Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice. How the bleeding Nora could you... We discovered during the course of this trial the music box deposited at Winterbanks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilded's possession are the least classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon in which you exchanged the disc for details of the case. You little... Oh. On the day of the incident, when we met you at Winterbanks, you said this. I'll be taking that, whatever it is on McGilda's, down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is, mine. Sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilda has to be taken in as evidence now. Scotland Yard already knew at the time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilda was involved in the stealing of government secrets. My orders were: recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry. And do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush. And that explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information. Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't sure of it myself. I realised there was a possibility, that's all. Inspector, surely you're not saying in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did reveal confidential details of the crime scene to the witness. To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony. There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known of the existence of the people. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men. Oh!
Objection!
And I stress if the sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth. Assertion or accusation? Hold on, I didn't read that properly. Hold on. Assertion. Okay. It would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom. Oh my, sorry, wrong button. Ah! It's a frenzy. What? In this courtroom? How could you possibly make a claim like that? Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective. What? What's that supposed to mean, eh? As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand. Good gracious, then, you mean to say... Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession. He has the second disc actually on his person. The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once. Definitely. They could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before. And Gregsy hasn't moved from the witness stand since. My lord, please! Order an examination of his personal effects immediately! Well, Inspector? This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me and my profession quite enough. However, if he'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubt about my involvement, then I'll be happy. I'll happily submit to a body search. Well, he's going to agree to it. I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you now teeter, my learned student friend. You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end, and my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded. That sounds serious. Indeed, to have a visiting student make such defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook. You're just threatening Bruno because you're scared! The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences. It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. The disc must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. Somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here. Very well, Counsel. You know the implications. So let me ask you one final time. Yes, my lord! Do you still persist in formally requesting a search? He seems too happy about it, so probably not that one. But dare I say, there might have been another opportunity. Yes, the defense formally demands the search be conducted. Well, don't say you weren't warned. But your typical Nippony stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good. Fair enough. Got nothing to hide. Very well then. Wait, hold on, what? Okay, you should have been specific from the jump, Yunosuke. I thought I clicked on the wrong option. The defense demands a search, but not of Inspector Gregson. What? What's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me. Yeah, well, you seem too happy about it. No, Inspector. Not you. Somebody else. What's the meaning of this, eh? Lost have you, sunshine? The court shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense. It's been completely irrational. Irrational? Strong words. Be quiet, all of you! Wait, who is that? Oh yeah, it is Iris. Bruno's doing what you told him to do and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way. Well said, young lady. Indeed. This court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits his next words. Don't be hasty, my lord! If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure that I know who has that disc at the moment. There's only one person it could be. Counsel, of whom do you request a search now? She's not here. He's keeled over. She's been with us the entire time. He's dead. Nah. He would have given it to Gregson, right? Like, why would Gregson give it back? He's not here. He's been across from us the entire time. So it's down to these two. But which one is it? If you remember. Oh wait, wrong button again. Why do I always get the wrong button? Oh my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin! I never! Blimey! Me, him? Very well then. Bailiff! Restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects. Please, my lord. Inspector. Scotland Yard has to object to this search!
Objection!
We got it right though, didn't we? Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here. In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object. But Lord Von Zieks! I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial. Bailiff! Carry out the search! Now hold on a mo. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no disc. Cry out! Ah! Here, my lord! In the witness's pocket! I found it! Good lord, that's... another music box disc. I don't know nothing about it. Nothing! That's the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson? Ah! Oh! Mr. Skulkin, what have you to say for yourself? Gordon Bennett, I've been just Gordon Flaming Bennett. I swear you didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest God. Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal that was struck between this witness and this detective, no? Without question, my lord. For pity's sake. Why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information? Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behaviour for a brief moment. I don't recall. What unusual behaviour? It was... yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Graydon. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket? I admit to nothing of the sort. While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently. The details. Yeah, he didn't know. Though he got me noggin was gonna fall. Thought me noggin was gonna fall clean off. I did. I was wishing I'd never been born as me brother. I was. What exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that? I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me whistle like I had started shaking me. Why the blazer you didn't mention the third gun we got you down the station, that's what you said. Oh, that's... right, he was like... right. Killed it right in me, oh he did. Me head's still throbbing now. The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been that he did it. Then that he did it. Did what? That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc. Bless my wig! He hid it! But I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He would have submitted the item as evidence. He was trying to hide it. It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that. Why ever not? As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions. My orders were: recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT. Strictly hush-hush. Hush-hush? A top-secret assignment, is it? As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector? I'm operating under direct orders from the Ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question. So, realizing there was a chance that you may be searched here in the court, you took steps to hide this disc you had acquired from the witness. Does this mean he only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him? To slip the second disc into his pocket? So it was all a pretense? Well now, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Graydon, are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you of this alleged deal? Well, if he's dancing, probably not. Admit to it, yours truly. Oh, please. Mr. Graydon. Clearly our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that it passed that disc to the inspector. How the did we know it came to find it on Nash then, huh? But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the people? I'm under no obligation to explain. What? Yes, I lied in my testimony. That I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder? Leaking government secrets? Striking a deal with the detective? All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of that is about. What? Can we get him on now? What about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc? Paul Noy, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as a Scotland Yard Inspector, I would declare this and nothing more. I am acting in the best interest of the country. Whatever I've done, it's in the name of justice. So, as members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you are making your decisions. This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such an extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leanings. Well now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathise with the old inspector. Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character. Even across the eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me. Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in Detective Ridley. Graydon is highly skilled operator, stop. Currently in presence of idol, stop. Detective is very much diced in the eyes. More than this, I cannot say. I don't... These juries are... They're going to believe Gregson. They declare the decision now. Is Ginny going to be found guilty? If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, we're going to lose! Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Winterbank, or stole those government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the Did we acquire the thingo yet? Oh. Well then, counsel. I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court. I'll let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings. Gina will be found guilty. So there's no choice then, Bruno. You have to throw some more evidence at them. This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? Frick, sounds like... Whoa. Do we want to give it back to... No. Wait, that wouldn't help us at all. Oh my gosh, oh, not the penalty! Shit. God, I can't think. I know I'm gonna get penalized here if I get this wrong, given the flashing, but I wonder if this option will at least give me a... I'm sorry, I know I should have thought this through, but like... And I've played this before, but I just don't remember this case all that vividly. Probably for the best, really. See what this gleans? Oh my god. I can't possibly decide this. I think all I can do is leave it to the jury's care. No, no! Look how far we've come. This is the final stretch. What do I do? You need to pick the most explosive piece of evidence and throw it at his weakest witness. Hard! Just before you do. Ah! You deserve an explosive punishment for that weakest of decisions. This will be the final blow indeed. I'm down to one penalty. I need to decide whether to place it for myself. Ah! Yes or no? Oh no. Shit. I'm gonna get a game over at this rate. Who? Oh shit. Oh god. I'm gonna freaking die here. Should I save? Save scum. Classic Ace Attorney. It's not an Ace Attorney experience without save scumming. Should I not? I don't. Okay, no, let's think about this. Gregson or Graydon? I think the only thing I could think about is like the music box discs, but the thing is they have the second disc, like we can't force them to play it. Hey, we'll leak the information. I don't know. I think that's where this is going. Shit. What are we missing? Oh my god. This is unbelievable. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I have a feeling we're going to try to get one of them to talk is the goal. Like, threaten someone. And I think that someone is Gregson. I think we're trying to get Gregson to talk. Because Graydon's not telling us shit. There's one final piece of evidence I would like you to see. What's that then? How do we get him to talk? This really is my last chance. Force his hand here. How is that going to force him though? Like, did I do something? Is this right? I mean, when we played it before with the one disc, like, there was nothing but people, better. Shit, do we? Oh my god, the penalty! Oh, I'm not safe scumming, but oh my god, it is so tempting right now.
Take that!
It's Peculiar Music Box Council. Okay, I don't know how this is going to get Gregson to talk, but okay, with the disc already in place, ready to play, I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. As it is, but it didn't say anything, right? Only this time, with the second disc, he's probably going to be like, oh, I'm not handing it over, I don't have to. This disc council! Oh, he's panicking. Wait, I can't let you do that. Why not? Because, well, because it's got nothing to do with the case. That's why, nothing at all. Yeah, well, it's driven someone's motives. Not true, Inspector. Ah! The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory. We're going out loud, Samson. We're talking about state secrecy. If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason! And do you admit the charge? Again, how are we going to, like, threaten him with this? Like, fuck. He'll, like, die with that disc if he has to at this point. Now, in order to protect those state secrets, you engage in unlawful dealings with the witness. You're mad! If you let that secret information out in the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot! Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court, and all because by fair means or foul you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine. Don't you dare! I will stop at nothing to protect my clients. I don't care who I make an enemy of. My lord, if you please. The court must hear the sounds made by that music box. Come on, Vonsies, for Pete's sake, stop him! Oh! Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. In this courtroom, my duty is the law. So let me propose a toast. To uncovering the truth, by fair means or foul. Oh yeah! Yeah! Okay, so Susato's off the hook, right? Is that what we're saying? I'm just kidding, but anyway. Very well, the defense's stance here and that of the prosecution have been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen as this music box is set in operation once more. This time with the second disc in place and both discs playing simultaneously. Alright! I admit it! Whatever you want! But for the love of God! Shut that boombox up! Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you, or did you not, strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon? Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector? I did. Stop! What are you doing, man? So exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said, when the trial resumed after the recess, and we were stood here in the stand together. That's when he approached me with the deal. Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up! Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbroker the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector. With me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed. Couldn't let the information become public knowledge. Not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal. Told him the details about the case that should have put him in the clear. People in the storeroom door. Blood stains on the overcoat. By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that! You still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury! I did. But then it turned out the people had only been made that night, after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely, this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Bob Winterbank. You... Traitor! Restrain him! Restrain the man! At once!